Hey guys, it's Mike with Gettin Greasy Garage. So today we're going to work on this 2017 GMC Sierra. It's a 2500 HD all-terrain Duramax Allison transmission, four-wheel drive, blah blah blah. I don't know if you can really tell. Yeah, you can. Anyway, the front sits lower and it just doesn't look right with the ass end all jacked up in the air. So we ordered up a leveling kit, and gonna go ahead and bring that front end up a little bit. So I will show you what all is in the leveling kit. Okay guys, so it's a rough country kit. There's your part number. Like I said, I'm working on a 2017 2500 HD. So it's a 1.5 to 2 inch torsion adjusters. So what you get is you get these two little brackets, these 4 spacers, and a left and a right torsion key. That's what they call these. So these have a different angle on them than the factory ones, so you have to swap these out. These are your shock spacers. So you drop the shocks, change the length of the shocks a little bit from factory location. And these go here, right here, I believe. Anyway, only really need one special tool. You need a torsion bar tool. It's like a giant C-clamp to unload the springs. A torsion bar is a spring, so you don't just want to climb under there and start cranking loose them bolts. You do have to make a few measurements. Your base measurement when you start. You measure how much of the torsion bar bolt, because you're going to tighten that bolt back up to the same spec. So far, all I can say is I need a 21mm wrench and a 21mm socket on a 1/2 inch ratchet. You will need a floor jack and jack stands. So if you are going to tackle this kit, we found this on Amazon. I want to say it was around 80 bucks. That's just off the top of my head. But the tool was only 25. I didn't see the need to spend a fortune on this tool, because I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of these jobs. So, but you definitely don't want to do it without this tool. These things can be dangerous. So I'm going to go ahead and get the truck up on the jack and jack stands. I got to have the front wheels hanging in the air so there's no weight on the suspension. So let me get that done and I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, well, I got it up on the jack stand. I had to kind of improvise. My stands are a little bit short, so I'm just going to do one side at a time. First thing, and I know it's hard to see, but right up here at the end of the shock, there's 2 21mm nuts. You got to take those loose, push the shock down, and slide one of these spacers onto each shock stud. And then put it back up, put the nuts back on. But you got to do this first on each side, because this allows the front suspension to drop down that much more before you release the torsion bars. So I'm not going to really show this part in much detail. It's pretty self-explanatory, and this kit comes with really good directions. So I'll get this done and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, so I got the spacers put in here, which drops the shock down just that 1/2, 3/4 of an inch, the thickness of the spacers. And I retorqued both the upper shock nuts, so everything's good there. These ones are nice because they're a pressed in stud, so it's just a nut on each side. They came off pretty easy with a bit of slickum sprayed on them. Or Looby Doob, as Puddin on Puddin's Fab Shop calls it. So, yeah, I don't live in salt country, so I don't have to deal with really rusted fasteners. Lucky me. I know some of you guys in the Midwest and the East Coast, you really get into some nasty rusty stuff, and I feel for you. But we're lucky out here on the West Coast, unless we live down right on the ocean itself. So anyway, well, I'm going to get set up and go underneath, and we'll actually do some real work on the torsion bars here, guys. Alright guys, well, it's time to get serious and get this thing lifted. So, what you have here is you have your sway bar, or your torsion bar. It runs all the way up to your front lower control arm. This is your spring. These work on twist, torsion. For those that don't know how a torsion bar works, this is your torsion bar key. Here's your ride height adjuster bolt. This sets the tension on the torsion bar, the amount of twist that's preloaded. So what you do, first thing you want to do is measure from, see this half moon deal here? That's your lock. That's what locks the key up in there. It's threaded through, the bolt pushes up on the torsion bar key, as you can see. So, take a measurement from here to the top of the bolt, because you want to set this back to the same measurement. And you want both sides set the same when you're done. So, this is where the tool comes in. Up on the very top of the cross member, there's a hole, and it's just in a spot where I can't show you. But that's where that part of the tool, that little knob right there, fits in. And then your threaded shaft is going to screw into this hole. And that's going to push up on the key, taking the load off of this bolt. And we'll take this bolt out, we'll take this cross shaft out, and then you loosen up the tool. It swings down till there's no tension on it. So I will go ahead and get the tool set up on there and bring you guys back. Okay, so the tool will only go in one way. In this case, you get to squeeze it in between the catalytic converter and the cross member. But it's in there. As you can see, it's in the hole. It's in the hole on top of the cross member. So what I'll do now is I take my ratchet. You don't have to, not a lot of cranking you got to do on this thing. All you're doing is you're just trying to take some of the preload off. You know, I give it like, I don't know, 2 or 3 complete turns. And you'll know when it's loose, obviously. So then we go ahead and take this bolt out now. Oh, let me switch sockets here. That bolt there has to come all the way out so you can slide that cross piece out. And it's got Loctite on it, so I'm going to go ahead and get this out, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so we got the bolt loose enough now we can run it out. Our fingers. Okay, it bolts out. Now this just slides out. Set it off to the side. Now, switch sockets again. Okay. Sorry guys, doing this one-handed. Now, you probably could do this with a a cordless impact, but when I'm dealing with springs, I take my time. I don't see the need in getting hurt. So now you just back off the tool. So I'll go ahead and get... Okay, so I got tension off the tool now. And run it down here. And just kind of get it out the way for now. And then I don't like sticking my fingers up in there because there could still be tension on that. So you can take a screwdriver, ratchet handle, and just pop that key down. There you go. You have to make sure the torsion bar is loose. And what you do, you're going to slide the torsion bar that way. It slides out of this key. And that's it. That's how you get it off. And the new one goes on the same way. And you just slide the torsion bar back into it. So let me grab the new one and get set up in there. Okay, so I got the new key in there. I got the tool set. And you can see that it's loose until it starts to take up preload. It'll get to a point where there's no more free slack. And then we gotta go to the ratchet. Again, this is a spring, so what you gotta do, as you can see, there's the key. You gotta bring the key in that way to clear that hole so that you can put this guy back in there on the bolt. So let me go ahead and get to that point. Okay, so I got our cross shaft in there. I just tightened this up just to where that cleared. Now I'll take our bolt. You can see it's got the factory yellow Loctite on it. Okay, and we gotta give it a little bit more preload because this angle of this tool, and you can see, I mean, you gotta really give it a twist. There, that allows that crossbar to turn a little bit so we can get our bolt started. So let me get this going and then I'll bring you guys back and we'll finish up. Alright, so I got this bolt run in quite a ways, not all the way. Now our tool is loose. We take the preload off the tool and put it back on the bolt like it's supposed to be. And it's all pushing on the cross bolt. Now we go ahead and take our tool off. We're done with it. And that's that. And now we'll just tighten this bolt down till the measurements where it's supposed to be. Both sides are the same. And that's good to go. So I'll go ahead and do this. And we'll finish up. Okay guys, so I got everything tight. And I measure my bolt. It's 1.1 on each side. So I've got my preload right where it's supposed to be. So now we're going to take it down off the jack and have a look at it and talk about it a little bit. Okay guys, well there it is. It's pretty level to me. So it needs to be driven. The front might settle a tiny bit. The other thing that has to be done now is the front end alignment has to be checked, because it will change the camber of the tires, because you essentially lifted the vehicle. So not a bad idea to check the alignment. In fact, it's recommended in the instructions. In this case, it did change the angle a little bit. It's not bad, but the whole look of the truck is better. It's even. And if it does settle at all, or if it's too high, I can still adjust those bolts underneath to make it look just right. But the guy that owns it will drive it for a couple of days, and then I'll measure everything once more, and if he's happy with it, that's that. So, as you can see, it's not much into doing a leveling kit for the front of these torsion bar trucks. These things already sit high enough from the factory. There was no reason to do a complete lift kit. But that ass end high up in the air like a 70s hot rod look on a modern pickup didn't work well. So anyway, guys, I'll say thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. And make sure, if you're not a subscriber, to go ahead and subscribe. We're only 6 more away, and somebody gets a free Stanley screwdriver set that I've been waiting to give away. And, you know, if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. I'm always happy to do that. And, again, thank you guys for the support. We'll see you in the next one.